We got Narelle and Katana, and who else? Good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing today? Hope you're staying warm. All right, we're gonna get started. All right, so I assigned a lab, an online lab, and I want to get some feedback to see whether anybody, and don't forget to say hi to Harold, if anybody's tried to get on there and what kind of success they've had with it, if at all. I know there's some issues with when you get on it, no matter what computer you're on, whether it's the Chromebook at school, even when I do it at home, you have to enable the Adobe flash drive so that it will actually work. And so that was a question, even though I put it in the instructions, that was a question that came up a few times. So has anybody tried to actually do the lab that I posted with Glencoe? It was a lab on photosynthesis. Wouldn't let you on the first link. What does that mean? Were you able to actually get to the link? Because if not, you should be able to. I tested it, and I had Mr. Nelson test it because he's in my classroom too. He was able to get right on it from his computer. So it may be a computer issue. If you're able to get to the link, but it won't let it load, that's because that Adobe Flash Player, and I don't know what kind of a device are you using. That's a good question too. Yeah, it says something about the plugin. You need the Adobe Flash, and most computers have it on there. You just have to enable it. You're doing it on a phone, it might possibly be an issue. It would be easier to do it on a tablet or a laptop. Yeah, I hope you should be able to. One of the things that happens when you load it up, and I'm going to see if I can go through the process. Give me a second here. Copy. And then over here, we're going to paste. Okay, and when you get there, you get that screen. It's and you have to click on that Adobe Flash. You get a little, it looks like a piece of a puzzle. So you don't have anything else but a phone? No tablet? I know I heard your brother smashed the tablet. I think he told me at some point that he smashed it. I don't know how well you're going to be able to do it on a phone if you don't have access to a computer in the house. And I don't think there's a paper version of this that you can do. How about you, Narelle? So remind me, is that Nick? If it's not letting you on, but you're getting to the page, what's happening is you have to enable that Adobe Flash drive. If you're trying it on a phone, I don't know. I've never tried it on a phone. But if you're trying it on a tablet or a laptop or computer of some sort, it should work. If you are able to get to it, basically what you're going to get is a screen. It looks like two window boxes with two different lights on either side. I can actually show you what it looks like on my screen. I know this is kind of quirky to do. And there's three plants on either side. There's actually the three plants down the middle. And you have settings on either side for the different color. And it's a pretty cool activity because it allows you to see how the plants will react in different light. We talk about, there's a reason why in 6th grade we talked about the light spectrum. Anybody remember the colors? I'm not sure why a tablet wouldn't let you on Google Classroom. That's all got to be about settings. Does anybody remember the colors of visible light spectrum? It starts with R. And so we use everything but indigo here. We got red, violet, blue, green, orange, and it makes a lot of noise when you do this. That's right, Roy G. Biv. And so I'm going to just give you an example, and I wish I was had it down how to switch back and forth. I don't yet. I'm working on that, so I could actually pull it up on the screen for you. But I'm just going to grab my other computer. 10 points for Katana. That's right. See, she does listen. So let me reset this. So this shows us what the growth is like using the red light. And I did lettuce, and you can see those plants there. And there's actually a little ruler on the bottom there. There you go. And you put that ruler sits here, and you click on it and drag it up there, and you can actually measure how tall the plants get in each various lights. And you have the ability to reset each time and switch the colors. And it does make a lot of noise when you do this. And you can see the difference in growth each time you do it. This lab is replacing what we normally would be doing this time of year, which is starting our garden, something that I've already done at home. And so I'm going to show you a couple of things that I've done at home. Now, I'm lucky enough to have a greenhouse that I can get stuff started in the greenhouse. It gets all kinds of sunshine. We don't have to worry about frost killing stuff. Says the plug-in is not responsive. Okay. I'm not sure what the answer to that is. I'll have to ask. We'll have to get some technical answers to that, because I really would like you to get this done. Normally, we would actually be doing this hands-on, you know, and I brought in the plants that I've been working on, and I got to do this without getting everything wet here. These are out in my greenhouse, and this is the lettuce that we regrew, and I'll show you what we started off with. See, I did bring something in here. By the way, I was planning on wearing my tie-dye shirt, or not tie-dye shirt, my Hawaiian shirt in support of Mr. Murray. And I got all kinds of stuff to show you. So, but we're going to start off with this lettuce. This lettuce, you can see here, Okay, it's getting pretty tall. It's doing pretty well. Slow but steady growth is what you want with these. You don't want to, what happens when it grows too fast? We call it getting leggy. And so the shoot or the stem is really, really thin and it grows tall and it's very, very weak. Now, yesterday, I think we measured, or Tuesday, we measured, I think 5 inches. We're already up to 5.5 inches on that. So just in a few days, we've grown a couple inches. This is what we started off with, if you remember, is just some celery that we cut off. And I've got another one started here, and you can see in the middle it's starting to grow up just a little bit. And in probably another week or so, I'll be planting that one in the ground too. So this stuff is growing. We would be doing this, which is why I tried to substitute a lab. We would be planting things in different soils, using different amounts of waters, using fertilizer on some and not on others, measuring growth, recording how much sunlight there is. Let me show you a couple other things that I'm growing here. Okay, this is a sweet pea, and I don't know if you can see it, but up top here, maybe if I put my finger behind it, you can see it there, this little curly thing on the top. These are climbers. And so when this really starts to grow, it'll get 4 to 6 feet tall. It really can grow crazy. And this will have peas, sweet peas, snow peas that we eat. You can see what's happening with the roots. There's more roots here. If I actually pull that down, and this would be cool to get a measurement on too. The root system, and I'll have to turn it sideways to do that, but the root system is growing. The root system is about 6.5 inches if I stretch that out, is growing better than what's actually up on top. But these are climbers, and so they get these little, these little shoots. I really don't know what they're called. I should look that up. And they will cling to everything. They'll cling to, if you put string up, anything that they can grab a hold of, they will, and they'll just climb and climb and climb. And they can get as tall as a human can. And those are sweet peas. And by the way, those never really make it to the kitchen. I usually just kind of sit and eat those there. This also is sunflower. It's got a good strong stem on it. It's because it's getting a lot of sunlight out in the greenhouse. From the moment the sun comes up to the moment the sun goes down every day, it's getting all that sunlight. If it doesn't get a lot of sunlight, it would actually be taller because it's searching for sunlight, and it would get really strong, really tall, but the stem would be really weak, what we call leggy, and it would be floppy. It would probably be kind of drooping over. The whole plant would be drooping over. Again, it's got more roots than it does up top. These are really, really, really healthy, and they're doing real, real well right now. So that's example number 2. These are sunflowers. So we had sweet peas, we have sunflowers, and this is for my father-in-law. This is actually a radish, which I don't eat radishes. Some people like them. This is one of our newest planted ones. Not much in the way of roots there yet, and really not much on the top. So that's a good question. You can grow anything anywhere, Katana, because you can grow in pots. You can grow tomatoes in pots. You can grow stuff in pots as long as you have enough space for the roots. These are being grown in trays, and they have to be transplanted into something bigger. If you don't have a garden, you could do it in a bigger pot, because you don't want, the roots need to be able to expand out. That's the important thing. The roots can't be all bundled up. They need to get out and expand out. And of course, we would be working in our garden right now, pulling all the weeds, getting everything ready. We would be starting these inside. And so that's the reason why I found this lab as a substitute for that, because unfortunately we're not getting to do this hands-on, which I know some of you have seen what happens, what the other grades have been able to do last year. Even if you have a lot of trees in your yard, you can still grow stuff. Plants will find, if you grew a sunflower, even if it wasn't in a sunny area, if there's trees, it would still grow, but you know, it would actually probably try to grow sideways. And I want you guys to be aware of something next time you're driving in the car. Well, that you can try too. Really, I would love to see you guys try. If you see if you can get your parents or whoever you live with, grandparents, aunt, uncles, to get you a little bit of soil, maybe a pack of seeds. And I'm going to, before the week is out, I am going to post something on my page. We're going to take a tour through the greenhouse, show you what's going on. Maybe go over and look at the ducks and chickens, and just see what's going on here as far as working in the garden and with the animals. You can pretty much grow anything anywhere. A lot of it is trial and error, and the big thing that happens is people get frustrated real easily. We've had some difficulties in our garden. Even if you're surrounded by trees, there are plants that do better in the shade, whether it's vegetables or even garden things. Yeah, Narelle, you do remember the little chicks, and we had some baby, sorry, let me turn my phone down. We had some baby ducks this year. We have 7 new ducks, and they started off, you know, this big, and they're already almost full grown. So, and I have shown some of you guys this stuff called microgreens. Okay. And this is the second batch that we've planted. I showed the other one on Tuesday. This is the second batch. Why? You don't want, the one thing about crops is you don't want them all to be ready at the same time unless you're planning on eating everything all at once. When farmers plant, especially if they have hundreds of acres, they'll plant one field, they'll wait a week or two and plant another field, because people don't just want to eat corn. Let's say it's corn. They don't want to just eat corn in August. There is a season, obviously. They can't plant too early or let it go too late. But they do have the ability to stagger when they grow so that they have food. They have to be able to get out in the field and harvest it, right? If they can't do it all at once, what's going to happen is going to rot. So we're doing that here too. I have another batch in there that's just about ready to go. And this is food that you literally could from scratch have ready in 2 weeks. And this is something that you add to a salad. And so it is some nourishment. A lot of people are doing gardens this year that have never gardened before. I'm in a garden group on Facebook, and it's packed. It can be hard to keep up with plants and animals at the same time, I'd say one of the biggest things to do is you can't be somebody that sleeps in till noon. I'll tell you that much. And why am I? Some of you guys are sleepers. But seriously, if you get up, I mean, if you got chickens and ducks and things like that, you got to get up in the morning, make sure they got food and water every single day. You don't get a break. They have to eat and have water every single day, 365 days a year. It's a responsibility. Luckily, we have 3 people here doing that, and it's mostly with the chickens and ducks, it's mostly my wife and my daughter. I do help out with them. The ducks are not really, chickens will naturally go back into the coop at night. The ducks don't. They have their own coop, but they're not geared to that, so we have to run around and collect them every night. And I seem to be the best one at catching them. So anyways, yeah, some of you sleep into noon. I understand that. As far as this lab, I want you to, I'm gonna put this, I think it's called, now I'm forgetting, Adobe Flash Player. If I spelled it right. And what I want you to do is, I wrote that in there. If it won't load up, Google that and see what it takes to load that up. If it's already on your device, or what it takes to load it up, so that you can actually do this lab. It's a really, really good substitute for what you're going to find out with the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet. There's no indigo on there. You're going to see a difference in growth on those different colors. And we actually have man-made lights that replicate sunlight that we can use indoors if we wanted to grow indoor, and we would just lead it on. Mr. Nelson, you got on that. Some of them are struggling to actually get on. And I think it's because of the Adobe Flash Player. So see what you guys can do to get logged on, and don't be afraid to message me about it if you're struggling. I'll see if we can find something else if it doesn't work. That's your assign. It's going to take you some time to go through it, because you need to go through each plant, spinach, radish, lettuce, each one of them, and do each color and record the data on the sheet that I give you. So it's working for you, Narelle? If it never works, I'll have to find a substitute for that, okay? But I really think that you should be able to download something that it'll allow it to work, possibly on the tablet, if not the phone. And just be patient with it, and we'll see what we can work through. You guys can message me if you're having trouble, and we'll get through that. And this is a really cool lab. It's really a lot of what we do when we're out in the garden, when we're planting our seeds in the classroom, when you guys are getting grossed up because you got dirt under your fingers. Don't be afraid to get dirt under your fingers. In the background over there, you can see those pots over there. And I mentioned this the other day, and we're just about out of time. Those pots cost $1. You can go to the Dollar Tree and get a pot for $1, a small bag of soil, gardening soil for $1, and some flowers for $1. And I just think it would be a cool gift for Mother's Day. Even if you don't live with your mom, you can give it to your aunt or your grandmother or whoever you live with as a gift. It'll be ready by then if you do it in the next few days. Like I said, it costs you $3, but it'll mean a lot for you to have created something like that. So just an idea for you guys to think about as a gift, because that's, in a month, and that's coming up. And it'll get your fingers in the dirt at least a little bit. Any questions other than what we're dealing with right now? If I have some solutions, I'll be posting them. So keep looking at your Google Classroom, and if we don't, I will see if I can find a substitute that actually might work better, and we'll take it from there. I'm going to try to get off here in just a second because it's 11:30 and there's another broadcast starting. Okay, I hope you guys are having a good day, even though it's a little bit cold out there today. I miss you guys. I was at school yesterday and I got to see a few people come in while I was there, and I miss seeing you guys. Say goodbye to Harold. All right, I'm out. Peace out.